You fall into bed thinking the worst is over. The lights are off, the phone is in your hand, the world has finally gone quiet. But something is wrong. You wake up more tired than when you close your eyes, like the night swallowed you whole and spit you out empty. What if sleep is not saving you at all, but slowly draining you without making a sound? You think sleep is a reset, a natural reboot, a thing your body knows how to do as long as you lie still and give it enough time. But what if that idea is completely wrong? What if sleep has stopped being a healing process because your nights are filled with things that quietly sabotage it? You are not sleeping. You are sinking, slowly, deeply, into a kind of rest that does not restore. Most people assume sleep is binary. You are either awake or you are not. But that is a lie your habits love to hide behind. You can be unconscious and still not resting. You can clock in 8 hours and wake up broken. You can go to bed early and still feel like your brain spent the night running through fire. And the worst part is, you do not even realize it is happening because it looks so normal. You scroll a little. You answer one more message. You replay the day's arguments in your head. You lie in a room full of buzzing light, open tabs, and unfinished energy. None of it screams danger. But together, it creates an environment where your body feels it cannot let go. So it stays tense, alert, stuck in between sleep and wake, never sinking deep enough to truly repair what the day took from you. This is the trap, the invisible kind, the one that feels comfortable because it is familiar. You are not lazy, and you are not weak. You are just caught in a cycle that was never meant to nourish you. You do not need more sleep. You need deeper sleep, and that will not come from doing more. It will come from subtracting what is silently pulling you down. You tell yourself it helps you unwind. Just a few minutes of scrolling, a video or two, maybe a little background noise while your mind settles. But your brain is not settling. It is lighting up. Every swipe, every sound, every flicker of movement is sending your nervous system into overtime. What feels like relaxing is actually low-grade stimulation disguised as rest. Your phone is not neutral. It is engineered to keep you awake, alert, hungry for more. Even if you are lying down in the dark, your brain is taking in bright flashes of content, microbursts of emotion, and unpredictable rewards. It is not drifting towards sleep. It is being trained to stay vigilant, to expect more, to resist quiet. The algorithm is not your friend. It is your bedtime thief. And the cost is not just a few minutes of lost rest. It is a fractured night, shallow cycles, dreams that feel chaotic or flat. You fall asleep overstimulated and wake up foggy, anxious, sometimes even sad without knowing why. That is not rest. That is survival mode slipping into your sleep. You think you are doing nothing when you scroll, but your brain is working hard just to keep up. If you want to rest, truly rest, you have to disconnect. Not from the world, but from the need to fill silence. Give your brain space to breathe without input. Give your eyes darkness without distraction. Because comfort is not something your phone can give you. It can only imitate it long enough to keep you from noticing how deeply tired you actually are. You think you have a nighttime routine, a warm drink, a show you love, a little browsing, maybe even a candle or two. It feels cozy. It feels intentional. But if you look closer, most of what you call winding down is actually winding you tighter. The body doesn't respond to appearances. It responds to signals, and your rituals are sending all the wrong ones. That final episode you watch in bed, the one that ends with suspense or conflict, your nervous system registers it as tension, not entertainment. That snack you grab, just in case, it kicks your digestion into gear instead of letting it slow down. That half hour of texting under the covers, your brain logs it as social engagement, not disengagement. you are not preparing for rest. You are performing a routine that feels soothing but delivers stress in disguise. These rituals are not malicious. They were built out of need, out of craving something familiar, something soft after long days filled with noise. But when you pair stimulation with comfort, your body gets confused. It doesn't know whether to relax or stay alert. And so it hovers in between, never fully letting go, never truly dropping into the deep places where restoration begins. Rest rituals are supposed to say, "You're safe now. You can stop," but yours might be whispering, "Stay ready. Stay plugged in. Stay just a little bit more." If your routine ends with tension, distraction, or noise, it is not a ritual for sleep. It is a trap dressed as comfort. And until you rebuild it with clarity and calm, your nights will keep taking more than they give. You tell yourself you're tired. Your eyes burn. Your limbs feel heavy. You've been running all day, checking boxes, meeting expectations. So naturally, you think sleep will come easy. But when your head hits the pillow, your mind lights up like it's just getting started. And in that moment, you realize something quietly devastating. You are exhausted, but not ready to rest. This is one of the most deceptive traps of all. Physical tiredness does not guarantee mental readiness. Your body can ache for sleep, while your nervous system stays wired from a day spent in stress, stimulation, and self-suppression. You mistake burnout for readiness, but your brain has not slowed down. It has just run out of fuel, and those are not the same thing. Real rest requires safety. It requires an emotional exhale, a signal to your body that the day is over and it is okay to release. But when you never fully shift out of performance mode, you bring the tension of the day into your bed. And so you lie there, drained but alert, caught between wanting sleep and not being able to surrender to it. Feeling tired does not mean you are sleep ready. It means your system is overwhelmed, not settled. And if you do not create a space, mental and physical, where the body feels permission to power down, you will continue to chase sleep like a finish line that never arrives. You are not broken. You are just mistaking fatigue for peace. And until you make that distinction, sleep will always feel just out of reach. You lie down, ready for rest, but your mind starts whispering things it ignored all day. The conversation you regret, the task you forgot, the feeling you didn't fully feel. And suddenly your bed is not a place for sleeping. It is a courtroom, a therapy session, a stage where your thoughts come back for one last performance. Not because you want them to, but because you never gave them closure. Your brain is brilliant at pretending you are fine when you are busy. But the moment you stop, it brings the emotional backlog to the surface. All those open loops. All the emotions that didn't get a voice. All the things you told yourself you would deal with later. Well, this is later. And your nervous system knows it. That stillness you thought would soothe you has become a spotlight for everything you tried to outrun. We do not sleep well because we do not let things end. We carry days into nights. We carry people, mistakes, unmet needs, and invisible grief into the dark with us. But sleep is not made for multitasking. Your mind cannot process deep emotion and sink into deep rest at the same time. Something has to wait. And often, it is the sleep that suffers while the thoughts keep running. If you do not give yourself moments of reflection while awake, your brain will fight for them when you're trying to sleep. This is not overthinking. This is unprocessed living. And the answer is not just silence. It is closure. You have to let the day go before your body can truly follow. Otherwise, you will keep lying down hoping for peace while dragging chaos under the covers with you. You think your bedroom is a safe space because it's quiet, because the lights are low, because that's where your bed is. But your body does not measure safety by what's visible. It listens to energy. It remembers patterns. It absorbs the tension in the air, the clutter in the corners, the unresolved weight that fills the room like smoke. And for many people, sleep doesn't come easily, not because they're restless, but because the space doesn't signal you can let go. If your room feels like a place of pressure, performance, or unfinished business, your body won't relax. If it's where you work, argue, overthink, or collapse at the end of every burnout cycle, your nervous system will associate it with stress, not sanctuary. Even if the lights are off, the memory of what the space represents remains active. The silence becomes loud. The stillness becomes a trigger. A bedroom is supposed to feel like exhale, like softness, like arrival. But too often, it becomes a hiding place for our mess and a mirror of our overwhelm. The clothes you didn't put away, the laundry that became a second chair, the desk that never stops reminding you that you are behind. All of it sends tiny signals that say, not yet. You can't rest yet. There's still more to do. You don't need a Pinterest-perfect setup to sleep well, but you do need a space that feels emotionally quiet, that feels yours, that says, this is where you can finally stop pretending. Because if your space still feels like part of the chaos, your body will keep bracing for impact. And rest cannot begin where defense still exists. Somewhere along the way, waking up became a performance. You were told your morning defines your success. That if you don't rise early, hydrate, meditate, stretch, journal, and start working before sunrise, you're already behind. And so instead of greeting the day with peace, you jolt into it with pressure. The moment your eyes open, you feel like you're in a race you didn't sign up for. This pressure seeps backward into your night. You don't just worry about falling asleep. You worry about whether you'll wake up right, whether you'll be productive enough, whether you'll conquer the morning like the influencers say you should. And that pressure is heavy. It turns sleep into a countdown. It makes the night feel shorter than it is. You're not just trying to rest. You're trying to meet expectations before you even wake. But real sleep can't flourish under expectation. It needs softness. It needs surrender. When your rest is laced with anxiety about the next day, your mind doesn't fully drop. Your body stays in a subtle state of readiness. And that readiness, no matter how small, robs you of the deep, restorative sleep your system needs to truly reset. The truth is, how you wake up matters less than how fully you let yourself rest. You are not a machine that needs a perfect startup routine. You are a human being who needs time to recalibrate, to come back into your body slowly, gently, not because it's trendy or optimized, but because your nervous system deserves a soft landing. And that begins the night before, with permission to rest without pressure. There's a kind of sleep that isn't sleep at all. It's just unconsciousness, a shutdown, a collapse. You don't drift off peacefully. You crash. You don't wake up rested. You wake up startled, confused, already behind. This isn't rest. It's recovery from burnout. It's what your body does when it has no other choice. And the saddest part is, most people think this is normal. You spend your days pushing past your limits, ignoring the signals, numbing the symptoms, and telling yourself you'll rest later. But later never comes. Only exhaustion does. So by the time your head hits the pillow, your body isn't sleeping to restore. It's sleeping to survive. It's doing the bare minimum to keep functioning. And over time, that kind of sleep becomes less and less effective. You wake up still exhausted, not because sleep didn't happen, but because it wasn't deep. Your nervous system never let go. Your mind stayed half alert. Your body stayed braced. And even when you do sleep through the night, it feels like you barely touch the kind of rest that refuels the soul. You dream, but they're cluttered. You sleep, but you don't heal. You were not made to live like this. Sleep is not supposed to be a recovery from chaos every single night. It is meant to be a return, a rebuilding, a gentle exhale that prepares you to begin again, not just continue barely holding it together. If your nights feel more like escape than restoration, it's not because you're weak. It's because your system is trapped in a cycle it was never meant to endure. This is where it shifts, where you stop seeing sleep as something you have to earn, fix, or optimize, and start seeing it for what it really is, your return to self. A nightly homecoming, not just for your body, but for the parts of you that the day scattered, the parts that performed, that held it together, that powered through. Sleep is where those pieces are allowed to come back, quietly, safely, fully. But to get there, something has to change. Not in your mattress, not in your supplements, but in your relationship with rest. You have to stop expecting your body to shut down like a machine when your mind is still spinning. You have to stop treating sleep like a reward and start treating it like a right. A non-negotiable, sacred part of your humanity. Not something to improve, but something to protect. Because real sleep begins long before your head touches the pillow. It begins the moment you decide to slow down, to release what isn't yours, to silence the noise that says you're only worthy when you're producing. It begins with softness, with honesty, with rituals that don't perform wellness, but actually create peace. The kind of peace your nervous system has been starving for. You are not bad at sleeping. You are not lazy, broken, or behind. You are simply overstimulated, overburdened, and overdue for rest that feels like restoration, not escape. And the most powerful thing you can do right now is choose to listen to your body, to your breath, to that quiet voice inside you that's been whispering, "Please, let me rest for real this time." That's where real sleep begins. And it begins with you.